Hey guys, what's up? Sectatron here from OneHive Gazette, here with the next video, and this is a base destruction video. So as always, you guys know what's going on. We're taking a look at a Town Hall 9 base today, and talking about a few attacks on it. And I think this will be a good video. You guys will learn a lot from it. I learned a lot from it just by watching these attacks and kind of coming to some conclusions and stuff based on what I saw. So yeah, we'll get to some Town Hall 10 action. I know you guys have really been asking for that, but just hold on. We'll have some Town Hall 10 action and some Town Hall 11 action over the weekend. But for today, another Town Hall 9 base. Great example of kind of what you should do for an air attack and what you shouldn't do on certain bases. Taking a look at this base just in general, I guess, you can see the queen is very exposed. The king is kind of guarding her, but if you drop in like your king right here, it'll aggro the enemy queen first. So a pretty easy queen trade is there if you want it, which opens up a lot of different attacks, one of which is an air attack. And you can see here these air defenses are in relatively, good positions, pretty spread out around the base. So we're taking a look at a few different plans. Let's go ahead and get into them right away. I could talk more about the base, but I want to focus on something that can apply to many different bases, and that's kind of one of the common mistakes you see with air attacks. So the first attacker is going to be Jay Muniz or whatever, Jay Muniz, however you pronounce it. You guys have probably seen him on the channel before. Basically, he does just a king trade right there, pretty easy for the queen, and then drops down his own queen for a queen walk. He's doing an air attack, so he wants to come in, wall breaker in right here, kind of create the funnel with a baby dragon there, have his queen step up through here, and she'll be able to reach this air defense and this air defense and get those two taken out, which will give him a pretty good leg up on the base here. So at first glance, that's a pretty good strategy. He deals with the CC troops, obviously, as his queen makes her way on in. So really, and then also a zap quake right here. So really, I mean, if you look at what he's getting, these 5 things, 3 air defenses, the CC troops, and the queen, for just the investment of his heroes, 4 healers, and pretty much all his spells, but that's a lot he's getting. So you might think, okay, he's going to, have a pretty good shot at this base, but you got to keep in mind that at Town Hall 9 especially, air defenses are not necessarily the main threat when you're doing an air attack. And that's just illustrated by the fact that people often put air defenses on like the perimeter of their base and put like their wizard towers in the middle, which just shows that's a good valid way to build your base, because air defenses, they can be a problem, but they also can help the attacker by setting up lava hound positioning. So with this plan, he doesn't even end up getting this archer tower taken out. So what he's doing is he's leaving up a bunch of air targeting buildings with no air defenses around them. So there's this archer tower, expo, this archer tower over here is still up. These over here are going to still be up. I think the queen actually might go around and get them, so those might go down. But really, and there's a Tesla farm in this area too. But really, he's leaving up, once he gets past this air defense, as he comes through, let's back up a little bit. As he comes through with his air part of the attack, once he gets that air defense taken out, then he has, some expos, archer tower, these kind of perimeter wizard towers. He has a lot of stuff to deal with, and the lava hound is not necessarily just going to run for those defenses. I think his lava hounds actually do pop relatively quickly. He doesn't have any spells to kind of propel his balloons along. So one thing you want to take a look at, and we'll take a look at the attack too in just a moment, but one thing to be really careful about is even if you're getting these air defenses, that's fine, but if you're leaving up a lot of space around the air defenses, you might not be getting that much value. So sometimes it's not worth it to take out the air defense unless you're getting the archer towers and the wizard towers, the expos, the Teslas, all that stuff around it, because if you don't, you might just make yourself put yourself in a situation where your lava hound's not going to tank properly and your balloons are going to go down, especially if you're investing a lot of spells and you can't use those spells in your balloons. Your balloons are going to be very vulnerable if there's no lava hound tanking for them. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the attack and see kind of what happened. So yeah, here is Jay Muniz's attack. You can see has the Zap Quake queued up to take out that one air defense right here by the queen. But starts off with his queen at the bottom here. This is a good queen walk. You know, it's getting 2 air defenses. I think if you could have gotten, you know, defenses around it a little bit, or maybe just got a little bit more for it, it might have gone better. But really, he's mainly just getting those 2 air defenses. I guess a few other buildings in the CC troops, but that's not a whole lot of extra. So I just didn't quite work out for him as I talked about earlier. But anyway, goes ahead and drops his queen down, lets her step up, take out some of these buildings. He'll wall breaker her in just a moment. There's the king, a few Valks to help out as well. Just make sure the queen does go down, has a wizard backing it up, but doesn't get that archer tower, just getting the queen really, so nothing extra there either. The healers, I think, took a few air traps, but they're doing okay so far. The queen will step up. I don't think she can reach that archer tower, but she will get the air defense taken out. And there's a golem in the CC, which she'll engage in just a moment, as soon as that air defense goes down and she steps up into range. So yeah, everything moving along here. There goes the golem. I believe he drops down a rage. He might have lost a healer. I'm not sure. I can't really tell how many healers are left up. But either way, the rage will keep everything up. The queen will take out that golem. Then she'll step up and get that air defense taken out. And from there, he'll start in with the air part of the attack. So yep, that golem splits. And then few more shots and it's going down. And yeah, right here steps up, takes out that air defense. Then I think she actually goes in a long kind of circle right here. As soon as that air defense goes down, she doubles back for that wizard tower, which is probably okay. There's no need for her to go into the base. She probably would have went down, although he does have the ability, so maybe she would have got the expos. I'm not sure about that. Sends in that first lava hound, taking a ton of damage. It's already busted, even though it is a max hound. So things are going down really quickly, and without any spells, there's no way to propel his balloons in. So that's another thing I didn't really talk about. He does have the one rage, but besides that, didn't have anything for his balloons. The hounds go down really quickly, and then right here, you can see he's going to suffer because all these defenses, especially these 2 archer towers and that expo, are spread out. And although there's no air defenses around them, the balloons have such a long travel time with no haste spells or anything. They're not going to get the job done. The queen's going to go down on the outside. I think he does remember the ability, but the expo is right there for when she comes back out of her phase. And yeah, everything just goes down. So like I said, guys, taking out the air defenses isn't necessarily the most important thing. Sometimes they actually help you just by virtue of keeping your lava hounds right in the middle of the base. In between a bunch of defenses tanking, because if there's no spot for your lava hound to latch onto, your balloons will go down very quickly, especially if you don't have any spells to keep them moving quickly. So both the expos end up being up. Let's take a look at the attack that got the 3-star. Was a very innovative plan to get the job done. So Puka does something that I really like here. Very innovative plan. Comes in with same king right here just for the trade. He might use a few Valks and a wizard as well. So pretty much the exact same thing. Takes out that queen. But also he wants to do an air attack and he realizes the golem is in the CC. So he decides he's not going to send in a kill squad or a queen walk or anything like that. He's just going to kind of take out a few buildings and do a heavier air portion of the attack and not have to worry about that golem. What he does do is he identifies that this not really. There we go. This air defense right here is not surrounded by a whole lot of defenses. It's kind of in an island, and he kind of takes the risk about there being no giant bombs there. Or actually, no, my bad. The skeleton trap can't even trigger giant bombs. He knows there's no Teslas there. There are a few defenses, but that wizard tower I think is going to be out of range. So he goes ahead and drops down the skelly trap, or the skelly spell that is, right there on the air defense. Gets it taken out. I think he might have 2 skeleton spells. I forget exactly. We'll see when we take a look at the attack. But whatever the case, it's much cheaper than a Zap Quake. Only takes up a few spell slots rather than the full 5 that a Zap Quake takes up. And then you might be thinking, okay, well, he's also leaving up, 2 defenses right by that air defense. He actually drops down his queen right here, lets her take out these 2 defenses, and that just allows him to avoid the problem I talked about with the last attack, which is taking out just the air defenses, but not the air targeting defenses around it. What he does is he gets that air defense and also gets those defenses in the area. That way, this part of the base is completely out of the equation for an air attack. Doesn't have to worry about it at all, and that's how you want to do it. If you're going to take out a segment of the base, you don't want to just take out those air defenses. If you can, try to take out the defenses around it. Doesn't always have to be that way, but that's a good rule of thumb because a lot of people wonder why their air attacks go south, and that can be a reason some of the time. So from there, he has, one air defense, I think. Yeah, one air defense, a few defenses in this area, then the queen. So a lot of the base is still up, but he has almost all his spells in much more troop space, so he can come from the top here. These 3 air defenses kind of have a nice progression for his lava hounds to let them move through the base and tank at each point along the way. He sends in balloons at the top initially, then kind of reinforces down towards the bottom. I think there was a few air traps down here that took out the healers, so he just sends in 1 balloon to soak all that up, then sends a few more in later to take out these defenses. Just an all-around good attack. Let's take a look at it and we'll wrap this up. So here's Puka's attack. You can see he has quite a few more lava hounds. I think he actually has 4 lava hounds total, which the last attack had 2, I believe. So he can really load up on those lava hounds. And he has 3 skeleton spells. So correction. Also, one thing to keep in mind, he dropped down the queen to tank for that wizard tower. So that way, if the wizard tower was in range, which it would have been if the skeleton's on the near side of the air defense, the queen is tanking and it goes down. So that way, he doesn't have to worry about the splash damage, as well as these 2 defenses are on the queen. So sorry about that, I forgot to mention it. Just to help out those skeleton spells, it drops down the queen to tank for those defenses. And honestly, he might not have even needed all 3, but people haven't been using the skeleton spell for that long. We don't know how powerful it is exactly. It's hard to tell. We can't quite approximate that. So just on the safe side, drops down 3, and the air defense goes down fairly easily. They might get that air sweeper. Actually, no, they won't get the air sweeper, it looks like. Or will they? Yeah, they do get the air sweeper. Not that it mattered because it was pointed out towards the direction where nothing's left up. But still, kind of shows how powerful those skeleton spells are. So nice, cheeky little thing there. Gets the defenses with his queen in the air defense with the skelly spell. Goes ahead and drops that balloon down, like I said, to get those traps triggered. The king for the queen trade. And then here he goes. Look at how many spells he has for his balloons. That way the lava hounds aren't going to sit there and take as much damage. Coming in with the lava hounds, the first one pops fairly easily. There goes the second one coming in. That air defense goes down. The third one going for that next air defense. There goes the second lava hound popping. You can see these haste spells just leading the balloons deeper into the base. Final lava hound making its way in. That sweeper's a bit of a nuisance, but he does have the haste plus balloons cutting across the middle, which is always a good thing to see. At this point, not many defenses left up. He has some back end balloons for that wizard tower, which is great, as well as the archer tower, and even a haste spell to move them in even quicker. So really overkill on this base here. These last 2 lava hounds, I think that one will pop, but the other one won't. So yeah, that was actually really close to popping, but doesn't quite pop. Not that it mattered. Has plenty of troops for cleanup. Probably could have used a few goblins up there, to be honest, just to take out the storages in the town hall, but he has plenty of time either way, so that's kind of splitting hairs. Awesome attack to Puka. Innovative, like I said, and really, guys, just to emphasize one last time, main lesson of this base destruction video is on these air attacks, you gotta think beyond the air defenses, the queen, the CC troops, kind of the old-fashioned way of thinking. Those who I have to take out, then I use my lava hounds and balloons on the rest of the base. Doesn't quite work that way, not quite that simple. You gotta think what's tanking, because those air defenses can be helpful to you in terms of keeping your balloons alive if you have enough lava hound health to tank there, because they do keep your lava hounds in a central position on the base. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind if you can use the skeleton spells, if you can avoid luring the CC, if you know there's a golem or a lava hound or some valks in there, you can avoid having to even deal with the CC troops. And as always, an easy queen trade makes this easier as well. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bisectatron out.